What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to another walkthrough on my YouTube channel. My name is Joey, and in today's video we'll be looking at how I edited this image in Lightroom and straight to Photoshop, and I think back to Lightroom so that we can export and all that. All right, that being said, I have put out a video on how I shot this particular image. It was during one of my online class sessions, and I used the opportunity to shoot the behind the scenes of the online class session I was actually having. So if you're interested in improving your craft and you're not in Ghana, you can hit me up in my DMs. I'm going to link down in the description my Instagram handle. Kindly let me know where you can, or I will customize, or we will collaborate on customizing a particular syllabi for you to be able to get whatever information you need as a photographer, as a makeup artist, or as a content creator. All right, also I've put out my color profile video where I showed you guys how to use my color profile. It's still up for sale. It goes for 200 Ghana cedis, and its equivalent prices has been represented in each and every currency available out there. So I'll link in the description also the video. You can go watch that, and also under that video's description I left a free color profile to which you can use, and I want to show you guys how I used it in this particular image. So as you can see, I have my color profile here, the TJD neutral, and this is what the TJD neutral is doing for me. It's just let me quickly create a virtual copy and just change this from Adobe color to TJD neutral, and just take a look at how the TJD neutral is making the image look different from the original one. Right, so this is, let me quickly turn on the before and after. This is before the TJD neutral color profile, which is free on the previous video, one of my previous videos, and this is the after applying the TJD neutral. So you can try it out. It worked for me in this particular studio setting. I just had to make few changes with it. So these are the few changes I made. I increased the exposure a little bit, added a bit of contrast, reduced my white, and increased my vibrance. From there, in the tone curve, I don't think I did anything here in the tone curve. In my HSL tab, I only tackled my yellows, made sure my yellows were looking a bit reddish. I made sure my reds were looking more yellowish, reduced the saturation of my reds, and removed the remaining saturation just because the background had a hint of magenta in it and purple, so I just wanted to take away those saturation, and I reduced the luminance of my reds and increase the luminance of the remaining colors, which of course I know aren't available in the image, just because I want to bump up the lightness in the image. So this is the before and this is the after. Before and after. When in terms of color grading, I did nothing, just because with the TJD neutral, like I said in my previous video, I am actually helping you guys to walk away or not bother your head about color grading and all. So it's as simple as you guys can see it. Lens correction, I did turn on my lens correction, and whenever I'm shooting beauty in the studio, I really don't like adding sharpness to my image, so I took away the sharpness in post, and nothing in the camera calibration, also nothing in the effect. So this is all I did here in Lightroom, and as you can see, this is the before and this is the after. Right from here, I just jumped into the magical world of Photoshop, and I continued retouching from there. So this is the image I imported in from Photoshop, and I did a bit of healing with my healing brush tool and my clone stamp tool. If you really want to know how I go about using these two tools to remove blemishes on my subject skin, you can visit one of my previous videos where I actually take you through this process of blemish removal, and I think we did quite a good job on that blemish removal. Also, I want to mention that when it comes to skin retouching, especially beauty and also with male models, I feel like I don't really need to perfect the skin to the point where I think when you see him, you'll be like, oh wow, this guy is looking beautiful. I kept also some of the imperfections, just like the razor bumps that are seen when you shave. So it was a fresh shave. I didn't take away those little hair strands that are showing here, but with these, I think I used dodging and bending to remove them, and some of them I also use dodging and bending to move them. But in all, I loved the image I shot using one light, and also making sure that I have light hitting the eye so that when I try and whiten the eyes, it will look natural. So that's why I have these two catch lights in the eye. So if you really want to see how I shot this, kindly visit the previous video. I'm going to link it up here or link it down in the description below. Check that video out, give me a thumbs up on that, share that video, let other people who are interested in learning a thing or two about shooting male models watch that video too. Thank you so much for that future share. All right, next thing I needed to do was to make sure his skin color and that of the face color matched, because if you take a look at this, his face looks different and that of the skin looks different, just because I allowed makeup to be done on his face. Yes, I wanted to make sure his face had no color issues, in as much as you're still seeing it, or at least it's reduced now compared to when he had no makeup at all. So I introduced a new empty layer with a blending mode of color, picked up my brush tool, a flow of 5, made sure it was a soft round pressure brush, turned on my airbrush. Make sure you're also using a graphics tablet. If you're using a mouse, it's not a big problem, so you can just go forward with it. After I did sample the mid-tones, I actually went in for the mid-tones. I didn't go in for the highlights, I didn't go in for the shadows. I went in for the mid-tones because I know that's where majority of the color information is. I held Alt on my keyboard, but before that, let's go to the eyedropper to make sure your sample size is 11 by 11 average. Sample the color you want to paint in. So I did sample in my mid-tones, picked up my brush to make sure my flow was a 5. Then I painted over where I needed the color represented in. So if I show you a quick before and an after, you get to see that color has been introduced underneath the skin. I mean underneath his chin or the neck area. I think I had a question on how this works, and this is the best explanation I can give you. Just because I want to introduce color, I want to make sure the skin matches and all that. I did that here in Photoshop. So far, I think the Capture One 21 gives you the option to fix that using the skin tone option, and I think the new Lightroom 2021 has that option with its masking. I'm yet to try out, and if I try it out and it works, I think I'm going to put up a video on that. Next in line was you guys already know this, and I know you've been requesting for this dodging and bending video. I'm just piling up the knowledge. I think I'm going to put out very soon, so kindly be patient with me. I know you've been requesting for it from a particular video I asked you guys to request from. So yeah, dodging and bending, I'm going to quickly show you guys what I did. I use curves in dodging and bending, and the hue and saturation layer you see here are just fixing my saturation issues. Whenever you introduce lights onto a color, you increase its saturation. When you take away light, you decrease its saturation. So when I introduce light using dodge, I increase the saturation, which I don't want, so I use a hue and saturation layer on the red channel to just reduce the saturation of the reds. Same can be said for the dodge, I mean the bend, but with the bend I increase saturation. If you listen carefully, you would understand what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to show you what the dodging and bending did. It took me quite a while to go through this dodging and bending process, right? So as you can see around the forehead, I still left some imperfections just to make sure he doesn't look really perfect. I didn't really take away all these nose heads just because I feel like with every natural skin, it needs to look as natural as possible. The work when it comes to dodging and bending or retouching with my style is trying to keep it natural. It's really difficult, and without practice and more practice, I don't think you'll be able to attain that level of keeping it natural. So I'll urge you guys to keep on practicing all the time. Don't be discouraged about what you see all the time and going like, oh wow, this guy made it look perfect. Yes, have this picture in mind, have this imaginary picture in your mind that I want my skin to look like how I saw Joey edit this particular image, or a photographer you look up to edit his or her image. That way you'll be pushed to do more to attain that level of skill. So in all, this is what I did during the dodging and bending process, the before and the after, before and the after, just to keep things looking natural as possible. Right after that, I think I did some minor fine-tuning, dodging and bending. So let me quickly turn that on, and this is what happened in there. Minor tuning. If you take a look at the nose, I think I did fix that somewhere around here on the forehead just to reduce the highlight, and that was that. After that, I introduced the black and white layer. No, not a black and white layer. I actually did this. So when it comes to trying to match color of the face and the skin, I still felt like there was color missing from the face and the skin, and I wanted to match it. Hence, I created a new gradient map too. Right? Let me hold on. Let me show you exactly what I did. I created a new gradient map tool, turned it off, made sure I selected the adjustment, not the mask, clicked on this, and created a third point with the location of 50. So the first one, which is the shadows, always the shadows are to your left. I'll pick the color and go and look for an appropriate color in the shadows I want to sample. So I'll say I'll pick this side, right? And click on OK. The middle one tends to be my midtones, and my midtones is in between my highlights and my shadow. So highlight, shadow, I'll say somewhere around here is my midtones accurately. The third point I'm going to pick within my highlight, then I click on it, then I click on OK. When I turn it back on, this is what I am getting on this particular image. I want the color, nothing else but color. So I'll I'll change the blending mode from normal to color, and this is what I get on the image. After this, I'm going to mask the skin. So I'll turn this off, come back to my background layer, make sure that my background layer is selected, go to select color range, and I'll select the skin. Make sure it's just the skin I'm selecting. Tap on OK, come back to the mask, then hold Command or Control I on the keyboard. You have the mask on you have the selection on the mask. Hold Command or Control D to deselect the selection after you have this. But if you take a look at this, the face, when I hold Option on the keyboard or Alt on the keyboard, the face is actually dark. Then we have the surrounding white. That means whatever effects you've done so far is going to be seen on the background and not on the skin. What we will do is hold Command or Control I again to invert the mask, and hence we have our subject skin matched out instead of the background. Then we turn on the adjustment layer. Then as you can see, we can see it's just on the skin. Then I'll reduce the opacity to match the skin color of the face to that of the skin. So that is what I did here on this particular gradient. So I'm going to delete what I just showed you guys. Then I'll turn on what I did just to bring back color onto the skin. After I added a bit of contrast, then some noise to the skin, and that was it. So in total, this is the before the retouch, this is after the retouch. After I saved it, sent it to Lightroom, then I don't think I did anything extra here in Lightroom. Then export settings, right click, export, then type the folder you want to send the picture to. And then what else? Make sure your color space is on standard RGB, image format JPEG. I'll limit my file size to 1500 kilobytes, which is 1.5 megabytes. Resolution of 300. Always people think I have a particular resolution I use for my Instagram. No, it's just because I shoot close-up images, and you guys already have an idea that I like keeping texture on my skin. So I don't really keep any settings different from what you might have, maybe except the limiting of the file size to 1.5 megabytes. After I just export, and that's all. So in all, this is what I did to this particular image that I posted that you guys were amazed. I honestly felt good after retouching a male model for quite a long time. I didn't really even do anything to the eye, just because I felt everything on his eye was as natural as possible. I didn't want to touch it. I just removed the saturation, which was yellow, in his eyes. So generally, this is how I went about editing this particular image you saw me post on my Instagram page. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me for this journey. I'm still praying you guys keep on subscribing, keep sharing this video so that other people can come and subscribe to my channel, then learn a thing or two about editing in Lightroom and in Photoshop. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification icon, and don't forget to check out my future videos, because I'll be uploading a lot these days. Thank you for supporting me so far, and please don't forget to come and help purchase my color profiles. It's still up for sale. I'll put it up on the screen so that you can see what it's about. I have a free one on the previous video I posted about my color profiles. Go and download it and use it as you want. Thank you once again for watching this particular video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.